Whether it's bad planning, bad luck, bad timing, or bad inventions, well-intentioned bad decisions have plagued history for thousands of years. Welcome to Historic Hindsight. Hello and welcome to another episode of Historic Hindsight. I'm John, that's Tom, and today we're going to talk to you about swine flu.
H1N1 swine flu. Oh my God. Remember when we thought that was actually the pandemic?
Oh, it was
and like we were
awful.
all panicking. It was
12
awful.
people died.
And I remember like we had vaccinations. We had a vaccination quick, like 3 months. And then like we went to abandoned. Specifically, I remember going to Indianapolis to the Washington Square Mall, which if you live in Indianapolis, you know that doesn't, there's nothing there anymore. Yeah. And there was nothing there then. And we went to like the old Macy's and we got vaccinated. Yeah. And it was like the nose vaccination. And then 12 people died. It was nothing. Yeah. We're not actually talking about that. We are talking about the pig war, Johnny, of 1859.
The pig war.
Yes, the pig war of 1859. Now, if you're an avid follower of us, you've already done this, and you're right. We have already done this, but we haven't done it on.
If you're one of the 7 people that listen to us on
way back then,
radio, audio,
yeah, stuff. On radio, yeah, because we only ever put it out on audio because for whatever reason I never put some pictures to the audio and uploaded that way back before we.
I'm gonna guess this. COVID.
Before COVID, yeah. Well, no.
This was earlier than that.
This was earlier than that because we started the video with COVID.
All right, nobody cares about this. Anyway,
nobody cares about this. Anyways, so
obviously we haven't retained any of the information, so we're about to learn about it again. So
we're learning
the pig
about
war
it
of 1859.
1859.
So was this in America?
So this is one of our animal specials, Johnny.
Hey.
So the Pig War of 1859 is fought between June 15th, 1859 and November 25th, 1872. It is a long one. And you guessed
59 to 72.
59 to 72.
Okay.
It's pre-Civil War. And it's also kind of a pre-Civil War battle.
Post-Civil War,
post-Civil War, to like we're into reconstructions and we fixed the whole racial segregation thing.
And this is with America, and so we were fighting 2 wars then at some point.
Yes, over a pig, literally a singular
pig. How?
You're right. So I'm gonna give some backstory. You're right. How the hell did we fight over a pig? So on June 15th, 1846, we're going back in time a little bit.
Okay, 13 years in the past.
In the past, there was the Oregon Treaty that was signed between Britain and the United States. So basically, this resolved the territorial disputes of Oregon and divided Oregon territory along the 49th parallel north latitude to the middle of the channel, which separates the continent from Vancouver Island. So basically, anything south of that line, it's the United States. Anything north of that line is British territory, Canada.
Is that part of like is there a parallel compromise, and is that it, or am I thinking of something different? Something parallel?
You're thinking of the Korean War parallel.
Is that
38th? I think that's the 38th.
Okay.
Different.
It's just word association. Sorry.
The word association, different parallel. The problem is there were actually the way it was worded is there were actually 2 straits in that 48th parallel that separate a series of islands. So
who did the islands belong to?
One runs south of the islands, so that would give the islands all to the Canadians and the British. The other strait runs kind of through the middle and gives the vast majority of the islands to the Americans. Okay. So we have a dispute of to which one we agree. The Haro Strait would put San Juan Island specifically. We're mad about San Juan Island.
So that's the one that we're fighting over. Yeah, and it's a territorial dispute, not with one of our. So we're fighting the Civil War with our, the United States. This is with our territories.
Well, this is before. This is before.
Oh, right, but during this,
during this, the Civil War happens. Yes, yeah. Yep. So, and we're fighting over the San Juan Island, which I have to. There's nobody's there. Nobody lives there. Not even Indians. I'm not like making
Okay,
a joke
so
where
it's a
like it's not even.
beach island
It's
or
an,
something?
it is an uninhabited island.
In the
That's
Pacific
yeah,
Northwest.
in the Pacific Northwest.
So it's not going to be a tropical
No, no, it's
vacation
not. Yeah, it's
like
not a
potential. There's
vacation.
not a
Yeah.
lot of potential. It's just, is it big? Is it large? Like, is it?
It's not bad size, but it's not like it's not Hawaii or anything. It's
Right.
it's an
Yeah,
island.
we're not arguing fighting over Jamaica or something like that.
No.
It's
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
okay.
And but the reason why it's important is if you occupy that island would be a prime spot for, say, a fort to protect the continental, either continental America or continental Canada, from sea land invasion. If you're
So
going to go that route,
so they're fighting over the potential of a potential
to put an
real
island,
estate
real
property
estate,
that,
for a fort,
might be good in the future.
if you were to go to war with somebody. Yes.
Sure.
So the like I said, there are two straits that go through the middle of this territory, leaving ownership in San Juan Island in question. The Haro Strait would put the San Juan Island in U.S. territory, versus the Rosero Strait, which would put it in Britain's territory. There was a proposed compromise. So even after all this, and they realized like we have a problem because
oh, what about this guy?
it didn't mention which strait. It just said the strait.
The
It didn't mention
strait.
which strait. So we have a problem. So the proposed compromise was to use San Juan Channel as a dividing point, giving the island to Britain, but the U.S. would have all the other islands of Orcas and Lopez. So that's a good compromise.
Yeah,
Britain
we'll
gets
take
an
one and
island,
you get a bunch of the other
and
ones.
you get the other one. The Americans get the other one. But if you've not learned anything from American history, we don't like compromise.
No, and wait, why are you willing to give us all of these islands when you want just that one? Is that island that much better? It must be that much better. I need that island. You can't have that island. It's my island. I need that island and those other ones too. I'm going to take those. Can I have those? I want those. Can I have them?
But who cares? Like I said, San Juan Island is uninhabited at this point. What's the point of it other than a military base?
It's a future military base essentially, and also it's a pissing contest. We want it. No, we're not going to show that we're weak and willing to start giving things over to British Columbia or England or who is.
Well, it is
Canada. Who is
it? It's Britain.
Oh, so
at this point, it's Britain owns Canada, but it will become British Columbia. Anyways, there shouldn't be actually any confusion over this because there are two available maps, Johnny, of the region in 1846. One by George Vancouver, which was published in 1798, and one by Charles Wilkes, which was published in 1845. Neither map has a clear boundary of the southeastern coast of Vancouver Island, nor neither map has a boundary of the island itself to begin with. But the Haro Strait didn't even actually exist on this map. So
right. So it sounds. I mean, I'm gonna give it to the guy who has an entire territory named after him in
Vancouver.
Canada.
Yeah. Well, both maps are like this island doesn't even exist. They kind of half-assedly threw a map together and like we didn't even know.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like they had drones or something. They had to go and sail around stuff and measure things. I don't know how. Props to the cartographers out there. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know. That's maybe we should look into that. I don't know. There's a sextant. I know there's a sextant involved. In any case, there's going to be a war buildup, Johnny, because there's no compromises made. So both countries are like, all right, listen,
let's go.
Kind of. They're on the other side. They're like, all right, we'll just like nobody owns it, and we'll just like whatever. Like you can't. Yeah, rock, paper. You can't put a military base on there. We won't put a military base on there. And just like if people want to settle it, I guess
we'll just continue to leave it as a island in the middle of an ocean that nobody wants to go to anyway. We'll just leave it like that. We'll just ignore that island exists.
Yeah, but we're talking about a war, so there's going to be a buildup, right? So in 1856, the U.S. and Britain established a boundary commission to resolve this issue. So they spent the next year from 1856 to June 27th, 1857, electing commissioners. So the whole first year was just like, let's elect the people who are going to talk about resolving this issue with the other people that we have an issue with, who are going to spend a year electing people to talk to us.
Yeah, I'm going to pretend that this is not government ineffectiveness. It's just that they had more important things to deal with, and so they chose to focus on those, and this got pushed to the back burner. but it was probably actually
Yeah, they are going to meet.
ineffectiveness.
These commissioners are going to finally meet on June 27th, 1857, aboard the British ship HMS Satellite, which, as American, that's bullshit. We should meet on the island, not
Yeah.
on the British vessel.
Yeah,
So
what's that
already
about?
we're starting off on an unfair advantage here.
Yeah,
The
they got
boundary.
home turf.
Yeah, they got home turf. The boundary is still going to be continued to be debated from October to December of 1857. Both sides agree that the language of the treaty meant that the channel that had to be used must meet three categories. So they said, all right,
Now,
this is the treaty that was made. There are three categories that whichever channel that we decide is the right channel, it has to meet three categories. So first one is that it must separate the continent from Vancouver Island, that it must carry the boundary in a southerly direction, and that it must be navigatable. So that's the important part. You have to be
that
able to
seems like the
sail a
most
commercial
important bit.
boat through that. It can't just be a little creek. This
The
can't,
going southerly bit seems like
well,
a
that's
funny wording.
well, that can be any. You can draw any line and be like, that's north of that's yours,
I
south
mean,
that's us. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. It's the you have to be able
able
to
to
sail a commercial boat through that channel.
Yeah,
It
is
can't
it a
just be
functional
small, yeah.
channel or is
Yeah.
it just a yeah? Okay.
Yep. Britain maintained that the Rosero Strait fit the bill, while the U.S. claimed that it had to be the Haro Strait because it was wider and therefore more navigable. So
they came up with this and like, all right, we got which one is more saleable? They're like, well, they both
work.
are, and then
they both fit the language, so we're still proper fucked.
Well done, everybody. Good compromise. We'll meet back here next year.
We'll be back here next year. Britain claimed that they had proof that the original treaty met the Rosero Strait, and
interesting. Okay, go on.
And the U.S. was like, all right, what per se is your proof? Britain provided maps drawn by John Fremont, who was a U.S. government official who was paid by the U.S. to draw up these maps.
Okay,
who showed that the Rosero Strait was the boundary. They also provided, they had more proof, Jenny, because they also provided a map by John Preston, who was a surveyor for the General of Oregon. So the Survey General, sorry, I got drunk and I read that wrong, and I'm reading my notes. The Survey General of Oregon in 1852 also showed that the Rosero Strait was the dividing line.
So,
but the U.S.
So Rosero Strait, then we're in agreement.
We have two maps provided by the United States that show that Rosero Strait is the one. But the U.S. government was all like, no, like, because the Haro Strait is bigger, so it can fit more boats. So take that. We don't care what our maps say. We're changing the boundary.
Ours is still better, and we still want it. So give it to us because that's kind of the American way. I want it. I'm gonna get it.
What are you gonna do? Fight us? We beat you twice. Come at us a third time, bro. On December 3rd,
waste more money. Take that back to your people and tell them that you're gonna fight another war with the United States over an island. Okay, all right.
An uninhabited, useless island. Yeah. Anyways, on December 3rd, 1857, it was proposed that the San Juan Channel as the dividing point, as the U.S. majority of the islands would be with the United States. But again, it doesn't have all the islands.
Sure.
And America really wants all the islands.
Yeah, we got to have all of the islands are ours.
So the offer was rejected, but actually by both sides, and the commission was disbanded. The dispute over the borders remained, and everybody was like, "All right, well, I guess we'll go home."
So in the meantime, all of this is going on, and this island is just sitting there doing nothing. Nobody's being affected by any of these decisions in any way, shape, or form.
Nope. An agreement is going to be made between Britain and the United States that neither side would allow military installations or claim sovereignty over the island. So nobody gets it. Nobody can put military personnel or force on it. Again, it's just going to be. It's just
continue to exist in its own little world where nobody and it's just fine.
But both sides did say if people want to settle on it, let them have at it. It's just that they're going to be in this weird state of I don't I'm not an American, and I'm not a Canadian Briton. Like I
Weird
guess I'm
state of true freedom where they can do whatever they
an
want.
amazing state of true freedom. During this period, the disputed sovereignty of in 1858, the British Hudson's Bay Company decides that we're going to establish operations on San Juan Island. So the Hudson Bay, they're kind of evil, weird corporation, but they're like, we're gonna put up operations. We're gonna put up operations on San Juan Island.
And now
they
there's
turn
a thing there.
And the operations that they want to do, Johnny, is can you guess what it is?
Logging.
Sheep ranch. They look at this island and go, you know what that's good for?
A sheep island.
Sheep.
Must be a lot of grass and stuff there for them to eat, I guess.
By mid-1859, 25 to 29 Americans took up residence on the island in search of gold because, we're Americans and we think gold is everywhere and we can just find it wherever we want. So 25 Americans are like, yeah, you right there, Prospector Johnny. You're getting to it. This is you.
Gotta fill it up.
Did you go to San Juan Island?
Think I'd be here if I went there and struck gold.
So now we have between 25 and almost 30 Americans on the island, and we have the Hudson Bay Company on the island. Okay. So this is where hostilities start to flare up a little bit.
All right, so now we're going to get into an actual war with battles, generals, bayonets, guns, cannons, excitement.
Yep. 100%.
Hollywood movie made about it.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, starring Brad
Buckle
Pitt.
up, everybody! Here comes the excitement.
When the Hudson Bay Company establishes their sheep farm on San Juan Island, an employee by the name of Charles Griffin, who's an Irishman, brings along his prized pig. Johnny, he has a prized pig that won countless county fairs, and he brought his pig with him.
Good for him.
Good for him. And much like the spoiled children, Charles allows the pig to roam free and do whatever it wants on the fucking island because he's like one of the only people that's living.
I'm sorry, this pig. Did you see it? Hear his resume? This pig won some prizes. He can do what he wants.
Blue ribbon. And then, like I said, like nobody's really there, so who gives a shit? Like
also a basically uninhabited island. Like deal with a pig.
So in spring of 1859, an American by the name of Lyman Cutler moved to San Juan Island in search of his gold, and he claims the rights to live there under the Donation Land Claim Act. So I know you're not familiar with that. Basically, this was a fantastic time in American history where we wanted American citizens to move to new territories. So we just said, yeah, if it's a new territory that we claim, regardless of what Indians were living there, just stake your claim and that land's yours. You don't have to buy it. There's no money exchange. Just go out and put some fences out, and like that's now your land. So
then the next generation who started like selling that land to the children complained because like all their children were unable to afford all the property and everything. And I don't understand. When I was a kid, I just went and got my own land.
I got 168.
I claimed Montana. Dumbass kids don't even know how to do that.
So Mr. Cutler, he's going to move to the island. He's going to claim a 160-acre plot of land known as Fraser Place. 160 acres.
So this is a big island.
This is mine. This over here, this whole chunk. This portion of the island is mine.
Did he walk the whole ass 160 acres and like put like little sticks in with a flag on it or something? Like,
we don't know a whole lot about him other than that we know he had a farm including a potato plants on the property. We know. As an Irishman, not being racist.
I mean, that was the crop that they knew how to grow and take care of. So when you go somewhere new, you grow and take care of a crop you know how to deal with. And I'm guessing that island's probably pretty similar weather to
probably. It's the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, so it's gonna be potato growing weather. You're not growing a lot of corn. I don't know. I'm not in agriculture. Anyways, on July 15th, 1859, exactly 13 years after the Oregon Treaty, Charles Griffin's prize hog is caught again rooting around in the potato patch, eating Mr. Cutler's crops. Shit.
And Mr. Cutler, he's like, listen.
That's his winter food.
Listen, Mr. Griffin, I've told you like countless times.
Keep your pig out my potatoes.
Keep your pig out my potatoes.
And he did.
But he did. And he
Do
didn't.
it.
So Cutler, being frustrated for his, over this whole bullshit. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and take his gun off the wall.
Oh no!
He's gonna be like, I'm gonna get my shotgun
and scare it away
and shoot it in the face. The prize pig,
his
the
prize
blue ribbon
pig that he moved across
county fair,
the
he
world
moves across the
with.
world. Who he let roam the entire island, regardless of what laws or territory exists. Cutler
He was warned.
Now, yeah, he was warned, and Cutler then goes to Mr. Griffin and offers him $10. And that's not $10 is nothing.
I mean, for
that's
your wife. Pig. That's
pretty good, right?
Which is a face.
By the way, Johnny, that's equivalent to $100 today. So it's like, which I guess
that's a cheap ass pig, about Tommy.
That is a cheap ass pig. Now that I'm thinking about that, all right, I take it back. That is kind of a cheap ass pig. But he offers him $100
with your $10.
To be fair, that's a pig that is on his property that he warned Mr. Griffin about multiple times. Keep the pig off the fucking property. Yeah. It's America, and we have the well. It's not America, but it's America, and we have the right to defend our property, right?
Well, and he earned that land by saying it was his. So figure it out, bud.
Now, Mr. Griffin, being outraged, demands that Cutler pay him $100.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Yeah, but $100 is like $1,000.
That's probably the cost of a prize-winning pig.
Maybe, I don't know. I never did 4-H.
Any agriculturists out there who know the cost of a prize-winning pig, please comment down below and hit subscribe while you're at it.
Yeah, right. Mr. Cutler tells him to politely fuck the fuck off because I'm not paying you $100 for a pig.
Wait, no, I was backwards on that. Sorry. No, screw you, bud. You pay him $100 for the pig.
But Mr. Cutler tells Mr. Griffin that the pig has been trespassing on his land, and it was eating my potatoes. And Mr. Griffin replies to this, and I quote, "It is up to you to keep your potatoes out of my pig."
Build a fence, bud.
Right? Build a fence.
Like, that's what they did in the Emu Wars after, of course, spending tons and tons of money in military.
Shout out to the Emu War episode.
They built a fence. It's a pig. He can't get through it.
Griffin, not being satisfied that his pig was dead and not given proper compensation, goes to the British authority. He goes to mommy and daddy and says, hey, listen, can you please confront Mr. Cutler and threaten to arrest him unless he pays me proper compensation for my pig?
Sure, yeah.
The American settlers were all like, not in America, not in my territory. Is the red coast going to come and tell me what to do?
Stand your ground, am I right?
This episode is way more livelier than the first one. The pig.
We're drinking during this one.
Yeah, we are drinking a lot more.
Sorry about that.
Like I said, the American settlers are offended by the British authorities trying to arrest Cutler, who actually do go and try to arrest him. And so they request military protection on San Juan Island from the dirty redcoats, which, of course, like, both sides are at fault. Both sides agreed, no military personnel on the island, and yet we have redcoats coming in trying to arrest Mr. Cutler, and Mr. Cutler going, we need some blue coats. So the blue coats are like, well, we gotta stop it. So
all right. I'll pause real fast. I'm sorry. I want you to imagine you're on one of the divisions that has to go and either protect or defend or arrest whatever. This guy over a pig that got shot.
A pig. Now, Johnny, keep that in mind because this actually becomes the best. Like during the American Civil War, like if I was forced to fight, like I want
That was a post during the American Civil War.
I want to be there because we'll get there.
All right,
so the Pig War of 1859. This is going to be an hour, like 5-hour long episode if we don't keep going. So the Pig War of 1859 officially escalates. Brigadier General William S. Harney, who's commanding the Department of Oregon, responds to San Juan saying, "Yes, we're sending some blue coats.
Here they come."
He's going to use his family connections to become career military, Johnny, and he will have some controversial records during the Indian War and the Mexican-American War, where he would serve under the Indian Peace Commission.
What? What's that?
with Andrew Jackson, and he was charged in 1834 for beating a slave to death with his cane. And during the Indian Wars, he and his men accidentally shot some Seminole leader's wife, E.T. So this is the guy who's like, I'm going to send some aid.
He has a job?
He's got a job. He beat a slave to death and killed an Indian leader's wife.
And they're just like, well done, you're promoted. What the hell was 1800s America?
But to make it worse, he was also accused of war crimes for how he treated prisoners during the Mexican-American War.
This guy sounds like a gem.
He's
Love
a gem.
this guy.
He's like, so he's going to send Captain George Pickett. And if you're at home and you're a Civil War fan, you all know Pickett's charge. Yeah.
Okay, that's
He's going to send Captain George Pickett and 66 soldiers of the 9th Infantry Regiment to San Juan Island with orders to protect the American citizens from the British dirty redcoats at all costs, including preventing them from landing their troops on the island. We don't want don't want redcoats on the island.
Go poorly. Now, I imagine Pickett's charge did not take place during this pig war.
No,
that's from a different battle that he was
different
battle
in future.
Okay, we'll get to it. Okay.
So George Pickett, he's career military as well, as long and he views this as an opportunity on San Juan Island to get the United States in war with Britain, so that because we're pre-secession, it's 1850, we've not seceded yet, but Pickett is from the South, and he really likes the idea of a Southern country of its own.
And so he's kind of thinking like 4D chess. I'm gonna get Britain on my side.
So he's thinking what we'll do is we'll get
secession Confederacy thing.
We'll get the United States in war with Britain, and then we'll secede so that like the United States can't do anything against us, and maybe like Britain will acknowledge us so that we could fight the United States as like a mini world war, right?
So
that's Pickett's. Give him credit.
He's slapping somebody in the back of the head, and when they turn around to look, he's been like that guy.
And so Pickett, when he arrives on the island on July 27th, 1859, he's going to violate fucking everything about that original. A, they're on the island, which they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, can't do that.
And B, he's going to hoist an American flag.
Oh,
he's going to hoist his back. He's planting a flag. This is our territory.
I mean, now it is, right? According to the rules of that time.
Yeah, they got the flag. So this goes over really well because Britain is obviously concerned that the San Juan Island was filled with American squatters, with American flags being presented, and the governor of Vancouver, which is Canadian, British territory, whatever, however you want to. I don't, it's Britain, but it's Canada. Anyways, Vancouver.
Sorry.
So James Douglas, the governor of this territory, is like, I'm pretty sure we had an agreement that there were going to be no personnel of military anything on the island, and you can't just plant a flag. That's not how this works.
We haven't done that for a decade.
Now, James Douglas, before he becomes a governor, he's a Canadian fur trader, Johnny, because that is the most Canadian.
That's what the Canadians did.
Yeah. That's traffic. That's the most Canadian thing I've ever heard of. Like, I'm a fur trader and now I want to be a governor.
I mean, was that not their largest industry until like 1987 or something like that?
Still today.
It might still be.
It might still be. I don't know what the Canadians make, but I'm sure it's still a lot of fur. In any case,
fur and logs.
He's going to request from Britain that they send 3 warships under the command of Captain Jeffrey Hornby to please help us. So Sir Jeffrey Thomas
3 warships
under Sir Jeffrey Thomas Phipps Hornby, as a career naval military in Britain, is going to be like, yep. I just got done kicking the crap out of the Egyptian Ottoman War, so I've got nothing else to do. I'm gonna go ahead and take some of my warships and come over to this random island in Canada and be like, Americans behave over a pig.
This is
a dead pig.
Literally a civil court case that would be handled on Judge Judy today.
Yes, over a fucking pig.
That's literally what this is. And she would award in favor of the plaintiff in the favor of $1,000 to compensate for the prize winning pig.
Probably, yes. So the first ship in Hornby's fleet is going to arrive on July 29th, 1859, and it's going to set off the coast of the American position, open its gun. This is where the British might get a little excessive, because
they went a little overboard.
The boat arrives, and you got Pickett with his like 60 dudes, and they're on the island, which they shouldn't be, but they're on the island.
Yeah, they're trespassing right now.
They're trespassing. So the British boat arrives and opens its gun ports. And that's what you do before you fire so they open the gun ports.
Right, naturally, yes.
They roll the cannons to the gun ports, and they're facing at Pickett and his 60 dudes. And Pickett's looking at those guns going, charge, because it's fucking Pickett.
No, that's basically, I mean, it's cocking, it's pointing your gun at somebody and then cocking it. They pull the thing back. Yeah, the hammer. It's picking this guy up. And going, yeah, that hammer. I'm gonna shoot you. I'm gonna shoot you. It's that. Now, Pickett, upon seeing these gun ports open, does a reasonable thing and says, and I quote, "We'll make a bunker hill out of it. Fuck it, I'm gonna die on this hill." Why?
I don't know.
Why? Over
a pig, Johnny. It's a pig. Luckily, somehow the British don't fire, and the Americans don't, which would be really stupid because he has no cannon at this point. It's
but
they
don't
pick up the gun and shoot at him.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, that would have been the American thing to do. If he were a proper American, he would have seen those cannons point at him, and he would be like, "Well, screw you, Canadians," or "He British," whatever, and cocked his gun and shot it at him.
Now, the British were told, under no circumstances are you supposed to negotiate with the Americans at this point.
I mean, they've been trying to negotiate for years anyway. It's gotten nowhere. But I mean,
but British soldiers ignore this order, and they offer Pickett a joint occupation compromise and say, "Hey, look, you take the southern part of the island, we'll take the northern part of the island."
Line of chalk down the middle.
Line of chalk. This is the tape down the middle of the room. Please, Mommy. Pickett turns it down and then builds a fort on the island. Says, "Nope, it's my island, and I'm going to build a fort."
I'm building a fort on it.
By August 10th, 1859, Harney ratchets up the tension by sending a total of 461 soldiers with 14 cannons under Colonel Silas Casey to reinforce Pickett, I guess.
How bored are these people right now? They clearly have nothing better to do.
1859, so Civil War hasn't started yet.
Nothing's happened yet. So 450 soldiers?
Yeah. In response to this, Douglas sends a total of 5 warships mounting 70 guns and 2,140 Marines. So now it's not one boat with guns. It's like 5 of them with guns and a shit ton of angry, pissed off Marines, which don't get shore leave, because if they do get shore leave, it's on an island that there's a pig. There's pig and sheep.
There used to
be a pig and a bunch of sheep. Which for Marines, I guess, have probably been pretty.
It's fine. Good enough.
Douglas orders Rear Admiral Robert L. Baines to land Marines on San Juan Island. So we've got Governor Douglas of the Canadian British who's saying, "Look, I want redcoats,
boots on soil."
So Baines, being a smart man who was also career military and served during the Napoleonic Wars in 1812 and the Greek War of Independence and the Crimean War. So he's
time?
Around.
What good?
Yeah, right. I know you get all those. Anyways, he's career military, and he goes, "You know what? That sounds like a really stupid idea that's going to get us involved in the war that we as English probably don't really want because it's going to be expensive."
What's the point of it?
Also, what's the point of it over an island that nobody there's nothing
over this crummy island that hasn't been inhabited in the 1800 years of Earth's existence?
If Native Americans aren't on it, why would anybody be on it?
I mean, honestly, yeah. See, they very clearly went to that island, checked it out, and
nah, nothing.
Kind of a crap island. I'm gonna go to the mainland over here, and we'll do that.
Now, Baines is going to refuse Douglas's order by stating that, and I quote, "Two great nations in a war over a squabble about a pig is foolish." So finally we have a man with
some
reason.
adult walked into the room
An adult is here now, everybody. It's fine. We'll get it sorted. He's going to take care of things. Y'all being stupid is basically what he's saying. And then what?
So both sides agree. Listen, don't shoot first. Don't you dare.
Why would anybody shoot?
Don't you dare be the first person to shoot. If they shoot at us, by all means shoot back. But don't. Hey, Carl, I'm looking at you. Don't
Finger
do
off
it.
the trigger, bud.
Don't do it.
Off the trigger.
Don't do it. Trigger discipline, which by the way didn't exist at this time, but trigger discipline. Now, both sides are going to, they're close. The boats are close enough to the island that they're hurling, they can hear each other talk, and they're hurling insults. You limey cunt. And then the British are like, you Yankee bastard. And they're hurling insults at each other, hoping that one of them is going to shoot, but nobody's like,
then because they want to be in a war over a pig on an island?
Right. Meanwhile, Washington, D.C., and the Crown, the British Crown, have no idea what the hell is going on.
I mean,
they have no idea that military forces are pointing guns at each other, saying, you limey cunt and you dirty yank.
Go ahead and fire your cannons.
Nothing. No idea that this shit's going on. On September 3rd, 1859, President James Buchanan is finally made aware of what's going on in San Juan Island.
Oh, well, I'm sure Buchanan took charge and did something about it right away.
If you watch our Civil War in hindsight here, you know he did nothing. He goes, but he's pissed. He goes, what the hell are you guys? You can't.
Why?
I'm trying to keep the South from like doing stupid shit. You guys can't make a war with England.
Yeah, and also to complicate things on the Pacific front, a war with England, like
it's not going to be great on the Pacific. Yeah, that's the greatest thing. It's the Pacific front.
How does England get there at this point in time?
Neither country has significant personnel on that side of the continent.
Right now, but real talk, how would England get people there? Like, what would their sailing route be? Was the Panama Canal a thing at that point?
Well, Johnny, no, because that's an American thing, and B, the Panama, that's like in fucking. That's the other side of the world.
Oh, wait, what?
That's the other.
I thought Panama was in Central America. What am
I? Oh, no, you're right. The Panama was in Central America. What canal am I thinking of?
I don't know.
There's a canal through like Africa or something.
Oh, not that. The
Anyways,
Panama
whatever.
Canal. Anyway, but so not that. So
no, that's not.
That's not a thing. Around. Anyway,
yeah, they're going. Yeah, they're going.
My
east
God,
to get
what
west.
a stupid bat! Like, I would be so. This is probably why civil court was invented.
Probably
after this, they're probably like, you know what? There's probably a better way to solve this issue.
So Buchanan's going to send General Winfield Scott, who is our archaically old, morbidly obese, who's been in charge of the American Army since like the 40s, and like, anyways, like
not 40s, 1840s.
1840s.
Okay.
I'm going to put a picture of him up there because, dear God, he's just.
For that time, or like now? Like, is he just an average American male now?
No, he's morbidly obese for now. Like, he's just a big boy.
Yeah, so he could have either been like at that time a general or a circus performer.
But he does he has a history of calming border disputes. He's done 2 prior with England actually. So good guy.
Yeah, so he's like the guy that would talk somebody down off a bridge.
Yeah, he's that guy. On October 17th, 1859, Scott's going to arrive on San Juan Island and see that both Britain and U.S. forces are ready to fight. They're hurling insults at each other. And he goes, we got to stop this. So Scott instantly meets with Harney and Pickett and reprimands them for both being assholes. Stop it!
Yeah. Would you do? Knock it off!
Smacking him with a ruler. Stop it! Both sides agree.
Like, could you just not?
In a matter of days, Scott convinces Douglas that both sides should remove reinforcements. So Scott meets with Governor Douglas and says, "Hey, look, can we just stop? Just stop."
It seems a little much, a little extreme.
People here.
Yeah.
Both sides agree to leave no more than 100 military personnel on the island at any time. Winfield Scott does say, "All right, British, go ahead and take 100 of your red coat Marines. Go ahead and put them on the island. Build a fort, I don't care. We have our fort. This is red versus blue Halo forts.
Yeah. Yeah,
fighting.
build a fort, and now we're on an island stuck, and we're just going to continue to
Just stare at each other.
posture at this point, right?
Posture. Yes, posture. So both sides agreed to leave no more than 100 military personnel on the island at any time, and both sides would retain joint military occupation of the island. So it is a 50-50 split between British and American. You own the North, we own the South. It's fine. British established the fort English Camp. English Camp, great name for you guys. English Camp.
It's good enough.
On the north end of the San Juan Island along the shoreline. Both sides would settle in for joint military occupation over the next 12 years because we're Americans and we never let anything go.
I mean, but they're all just both sides sitting not engaging, right?
Yeah, no, not engaging.
They're just bunch of dudes on an island.
Now, this is why I want this military, because you have to have 100 dudes as Americans sit here. Now, over the next 12 years, there's going to be a civil war fought, and there's going to be lots of people dying.
Yeah,
and there's going to be a draft on both sides, and so you get
But at the same point,
but 100 of these lucky Americans get to sit in this fort that Pickett built and do nothing. And I literally mean this: do nothing but literally get drunk with the British on the other side. They go and play poker with each other.
So you know what this is?
Booze with each other.
You know what this is? This is two frat houses at, even call it competing colleges. It doesn't matter. Two frat houses going to an island, sending dudes there and being like, all right, make sure that side doesn't try to kill any of you. If they do, you can kill them. And they're both hearing this, and then they all get there and they're like, "Oh, that side's they're just kind of like other dudes like us,
yeah."
And we all have to be here, small island. Let's hang out.
Copious, and I mean copious amounts of alcohol were shared between both sides. Both sides pretty much had an open door policy. You had British redcoats in the American fort. You had Americans in the British fort. Like they were all just like, "Hey guys, we got nothing else."
It's a 12-year reality TV show. Like I'm sure there was some like fights and stuff, like fist fight, people getting.
Oh yeah, like
it's
boxing matches.
12-year-old reality TV.
Yeah, big one. How about you, boxer?
Yeah,
there's
a boxer that catches her.
You got it. And I'm sure no sheep on that island were mistreated.
Oh right, there's sheep there.
And there's no women. There's a bunch of sheep with a bunch of drunk college dudes. I guarantee you, no sheep were harmed in this episode. Now, in 1866,
I wouldn't make that guarantee, Tommy.
No, I'm not. Now, in 1866, the colony of Vancouver Island merged with British Columbia, creating the colony of British Columbia.
So here's British Columbia. Okay.
British Columbia is now a thing. In 1871, they officially joined the newly formed Dominion of Canada. So in this whole war, we went from Britain war to like now Canada exists as a thing. So
we fought Britain, British Columbia, and Canada all in the same war, same people, all 100 dudes just chilling.
Just 100 dudes chilling. Well, 200, 100 on each side.
Well, but the ones we were fighting, it was 100.
Yeah, 100 dudes. Yeah. So in 1871, the U.S. and Britain signed the Treaty of Washington that resolved many disputes that we had with the Brits.
Okay, so this is like one of those bills that's stacked with like 100 different things in it. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Like because this isn't the only like potential conflict that the English and the Americans have with each other.
Right. No, of course not. That's like been their existence since. I mean, it started in conflict. It's probably going to end in conflict.
Yeah. Both sides agreed to send San Juan dispute negotiators to agree to look. We've not gotten anywhere with Britain and Canada and the United States talking with each other.
Right.
So we're going to send
obviously that's failed over the past 24 years or whatever.
So we're gonna finally put an end to it. We're gonna agree to put an end to it because we're gonna make a third party decide we're going to Judge Judy. We're going to Judge Judy.
Yeah. Here it is. This is the show. Somebody film it. Is there like a stenographer around?
Right. So both parties agree to choose German Emperor Wilhelm I
What?
I don't know.
German Emperor Wilhelm first was in 1870, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
What
Johnny,
is
Germany doesn't even.
time?
Hey, Germany doesn't even exist officially yet as
Why?
a country. Germany, we still like
What?
Prussian Empire. Yeah. Anyways, so German Emperor Wilhelm I is chosen to act as arbitrator on October 21st, 1872. So the new country of Germany, the thing that just
What?
the Prussian Empire, just like all these Germanic states, he got them all together because he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you don't join us, and they're like, oh, I don't want
That's
to die.
Germany now.
So that's
That
Germany.
won't-
So the very first.
So literally, okay, but literally, Germany did not exist. The word Germany.
Prior to
to
there was
18
Germanic
what?
states, 1872. Yeah, Germanic states. I know you don't understand time. Anyways, so he's chosen. He's this new guy. He's chosen. So German Emperor Wilhelm I. So he gets chosen to act as arbitrator on October 21st, 1872. He decides, in all of his wisdom, as a new head of a country,
as Emperor Wilhelm.
Emperor Wilhelm. He's like, yeah.
Hello, Emperor Wilhelm.
He's like, yeah, the Americans, the Harrow Strait, due to its larger navigation route, the Americans are right. It should be their island because you can navigate two boats instead of just one boat.
Yeah, thank you, Herr Wilhelm.
So Herr Wilhelm decides that the Americans get the island. On November 25th, like I said, 1872, Britain is going to withdraw all their troops from the island. And in 1874, the Americans are going to be like, all right, since the redcoats are gone, we don't. The whole point of this island was to build a fort so that people can't invade mainland.
Right.
And by 1874, both people who were fighting this whole time were like, we don't need to do that.
Yeah,
and they both left it. They both left it. To the aftermath, Johnny.
Casualty report.
Casualty report. I need to come up with a song.
We need a sounder there. We need something. I'll work on it sometime.
So the casualty report. It's one pig.
No, dead, right? And then how many captured?
Yeah, just one pig dead.
All right, how much?
No wounded.
All right, okay. My
no dead,
biggest question: was that pig eaten?
I don't know. I should have looked it up. I really don't know.
Because if it's a prize-winning pig, you have to butcher it and get the chops and the bacon and everything from it. I mean,
I just want the bacon.
I'm a bacon is overrated guy, but we'll get on that another day. It's overrated.
I like pork chops.
Love some pork chops.
I don't like bacon on things. I want bacon by itself. Bacon is too overpowering on things.
Want
a bacon cheeseburger. It just tastes like bacon. I want everything by itself.
Yeah, that's my problem with bacon.
Pork chops are okay, but they're taken to the next level when you mix in with some applesauce.
No,
that's the next.
I know that's the thing. It's just I'm a weird. Keep my food separate. No, I know, and I know that. I'm gonna keep my food separate kind of guy though.
So casualty report: one pig dead. Charles Griffin is going to he's going to leave the island when Hudson Bay Company leaves. So the whole my pig got shot and I'm mad. He's going to leave. When Hudson Bay decides this isn't worth we can have sheep
when he realizes he's not getting his money.
Yeah, there's sheep other places. We can have sheep other places. Lyman Cutler left the island as well before a compromise was even met, living in mainland U.S. by the time of the ruling in 1872. So the two dudes that caused all this shit gone off the island.
They're just like,
you
know what? It's not worth it.
Well before the war's over. William S. Hardy.
All right, I don't know if you know this. I'm sorry, and you probably don't. What's going on with that island today?
With the island? I don't know. Well, I do know.
Is it occupied?
It is. There's a national park there, and it is the only place in United States territory where on a national park we allow a foreign flag to be flown, because on the fort that was the British fort, we still allow them we raise the
all right, so they turned it into a park.
It's a park.
What a useful island that is.
Yeah, it is a useful island. William S. Harney is going to go on to lead, be one of the biggest reasons why Missouri does not side with the Confederacy. So out of all of his shitbaggery, beating slaves to death, all that fun stuff, he's actually going to go on and be like, hey, look,
no,
maybe we shouldn't do that.
Now, why? Do we know?
I don't know. He calms tensions down there. He's the biggest reason why Missouri doesn't secede. But at the start of the Civil War, he was one of 4 U.S. generals that did not resign his commission. So at the start of the Civil War, there were only 4 U.S. generals at that rank that decided I'm not going to leave. But because he beat,
he's a rotten human.
But because he's a rotten human and is a Southerner and beat a slave to death, he was viewed as a Southern sympathizer and would be removed from overall command of the West at the start of the Civil War. So when the shots first get fired, Lincoln's like, I don't want that dude.
Yeah, it sounds like he was trying to join the North to be like, you know what, I want to maybe, you know what you should do? You should put me in charge of your colored troops that you got over there. I see them. I see them over there. Maybe I could take the lead.
Pickett is going to resign his commission in 1861 when the South was their whole thing, and he's going to leave San Juan Island to join the Confederacy, which is a stupid, like Pickett in hindsight, cushest job. You were leading the 100 dudes that were just sitting
it's
drinking,
gotta be just
and then you go and join a war, which your name is going to go down as history as Pickett's charge. Which, spoiler alert,
didn't work.
No.
It's got to be just mind-numbingly boring, though. On an
okay.
island in the Pacific Northwest in the 1800s.
Are you going to take mind-numbingly boring over dysentery and getting shot?
Hey, Tommy, you're talking about a bunch of dudes that decided it would be worth going to an island and preparing to battle and die over a pig. Yeah, I think they're going to get bored not doing anything like, I don't know, killing people. Which is barely what they wanted to do.
Which is what they wanted to do. James Douglas is going to become the first governor of British Columbia and would maintain as the governor until he retired in 1864. So he doesn't even make it till the end of the war.
Yeah.
Like I said, we spoiled it, but both forts still exist today. They're part of the U.S. National Park system. And like I said, it's the only place where the Union Jack flies on American territory. Canada itself is actually furious at the Britain-Oregon Treaty because they felt like Britain wasn't looking out for their interests, and they were furious at Britain for
to which
negotiating
Britain
with the
replied,
Americans.
We're not.
Well, which we don't care. Well, we're not, and we don't care because, like, at this point, how many colonies did Britain lose? They don't even care. Whatever. Or we lose Canada too.
They lost all of them, but then according to Eddie Izzard, they wanted to keep the Falkland Islands for their strategic sheep purposes,
which we will do. Hey, sheep!
Let's do that next week.
Hey, you know what? Fine. Yes, there you go. There's a plug for next week. We'll do the Falkland Islands.
That's it for this week in Historic Hindsight. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review, and join us next week when we talk about the Falkland Islands.